How's it going, everyone? It is Drago. We're back with another chapter of Fairy Tale 100-Year Quest, Chapter 88, Elta Face. Cover for this chapter has Natsu and Happy on it. I really like the cover for these two this chapter. It's a very cool photo between the two of them. Honestly, this is one of my more favorite covers with Natsu on it. I just like how freaking cool he's looking. I don't know why, but the cover also kind of makes me think back to Eisenwald, like when he's fighting on the bridge and he's got like the canyon behind him. I really like this cover with Natsu on it. I just think they both look really cool. We pick up the actual chapter in the whiteout village, and they're all freaking out. Like, we gotta evacuate the children, and we gotta prepare for the whiteout ceremony. So you get the whiteout priestess sitting in a circle, and they are starting to discuss things. So they start talking about the monster that Team Fairy Tale is fighting right now, going into the legend behind Elta Face. So they go kind of in depth on how the monster would use its magic to ruin cities and erase the land, and this is how you get the formation of the whiteout priestess and the whiteout village. And they talk about the many wars that the whiteout village and Elta Face have had throughout the years, and that they eventually sealed it underground. And, they thought they had peace, but, eventually the hands started to appear. And that's when the villagers, tracked the hands and, tracked them down to the ground and, cut them off. After a decent period of time, the hands still kept popping up, but they were like, oh, they don't have any malicious intent, so they didn't even bother anymore. Yes, they would occasionally summon monsters and stuff. It was so rare that they basically forgot the menace that was Elta Face. And this monster is the exact reason why this world is overflowing with magic power. They basically come to the conclusion of if the hands have been reappearing like crazy, that means that this monster, Elta Face, has been revived, which we saw in the last chapter. So we get a cool shot where I place my faith in Team Fairy Tale. You see Team Fairy Tale running to go take on Elta Face, and they're discussing this thing is very weird looking, and it's such a weird source of magic power. And Wendy starts to enchant everyone, and you get everyone doing their big attacks. Natsu's doing the Fire Dragon's Destruction Fist, Gray Ice Devil Zero Longsword. I really like the panel with Lucy and Wendy. They're both doing combo attacks. To be real, everyone's doing these big combo attacks. Urza just kind of I'm gonna slash the leg, Either way, it's cool seeing them all do their big power move. The monster literally didn't even take a scratch from what they did, and they're all freaking out, what? It didn't work? What the heck is going on here? And you see light sparkles start to appear, and he does this blinding light attack. And I guess this blinding light attack is just kind of magic power, because the ether nano starts to concentrate so high that they're oh, I can't even use my magic. Dang, that's a big attack he does, because that he goes straight to the sky, and you see practically everyone get burned alive. And then they're all how are we supposed to do damage to this monster to where we can't even do any damage to it, and we also don't have any magic? So we get Irene showing up again, and she starts explaining, your magic power has been pushed to the limits to where your body thinks it's zero. And of course she's telling this to Wendy. She explains it as their bodies can display the limit of 99, but what happens if you go past 99, get to 100, and your body can't display it, so it just would think you're at zero. So this overflowing magic, they technically are overflowing in magic so much to where their body thinks they don't have magic, but they actually have an exorbitant amount. So she tells Wendy to think back to her biggest moments and where she pushed beyond. She realizes, oh, this isn't my limit, I can go beyond that. We're literally doing the go beyond plus ultra, the Black Clover surpass your limits stuff, which we get a new form of Wendy. I'm not entirely sure how this works, but it aged her up. So I'm assuming she's also in a dragon force as well. But you get an aged up Wendy, and everyone on the team's freaking out, you're usually a little kid, why do you all of a sudden turn older now? Wendy starts explaining it to everyone, hey, your body is at over its limit, so it thinks you're at 0. So, like, trust your bodies and remember the ways you fought, and like to go past your limit. And once they all kind of have that knowledge, they immediately go at their full potential. And I guess them fully realizing all their potential, they all go to attack Elta Face, and he's calling them ugly, and they're like, it doesn't matter if we're ugly or beautiful, but it matters that we do things our way. When they realize their full potential, they one-shotted it. You get a very cool shot of the whole team just one-shotting Elta Face, and it's a very beautiful panel. And with all the crumbling and destruction, you get Natsu saying, "That is what it means to be a fairy tale wizard." And that is the end of our chapter. So, my thoughts. I really like the cover with Natsu and Happy. The Wait Out Village stuff. Cool that we got the backstory of Elta Face. He came so out of left field, like even last chapter and stuff too, that it's like you were expecting that Silene fight, and then you get this guy, to where I'm just like, I don't really care about this dude. I just want to get past this to where we get to the cooler stuff, and you find out like what happened to Silene, and like how did they get back to Earthland, and how do they continue on with their 100-year quest. I mean, you still got things like, Lucy trying to find Aquarius, all that side story stuff. But once we actually get into the fight, seeing everyone do their big move and whatever, it was very cool, but they didn't do any scratch. I guess the one thing of, if that was them doing their attacks and they weren't thinking in their hearts and minds that was their full potential, but when they accepted the full like limit and like unlimited magic power of that world, that they hit their full potential, like what they could potentially be in the future. I guess it's kind of cool to be like, okay, that's what Team Fairy Tail could eventually be, to where their basic attacks couldn't even put a scratch on this thing, but when they realized their full potential, they one-shotted it. Wendy, that's going to be the big one from this chapter, that, she had her little conversation with Irene. I feel like it was kind of basic to have her come back and be like, oh, you're just over your limits, where your body thinks you're at 0. But the fact that apparently we have forms now that age you up, don't know what to think of it, to be honest. I mean, it's cool to see an adult Wendy. She does not look like Edalus Wendy, mainly with the boobs. I'm totally fine with that. Let's keep them separate. I'll say I'm actually very glad they didn't make her look exactly like Edalus Wendy, so with that, we actually have 2 separate characters. Her as an actual, adult, I'm assuming in Dragon Force, which I like the little, weird ring thing she has around her arms. If that's, her adult Dragon Force, that looks pretty cool. She didn't even do any named attack in this form, so you don't see how much maybe her Sky Dragon magic has improved, or what bonuses that form gets. Not too much to this chapter. We'll have to see where it goes. I'm still busy with a few things. Just everything's been happening really fast for me right now within my life, so sorry on delays of videos and stuff, and this one might be a tad delayed, I'm not sure, but otherwise, thank you for watching, and this is Drago signing out.